People are telling me I work too much, but I still keep going. And today, I want to talk about some ponies that seemingly have a similar work ethic and devotion to their craft. Flim and Flam and their craft of deception. I love these two, the brothers. They perfectly show how incredible powerful siblings are when they work together. Immediately when they appeared for the first time, I loved them as minor villains. Immediately incredibly catchy for the super speedy cider squeezy song. You just have to vibe with them. They are, as many other villains in MLP, relying on manipulation to get to their goal. Cozy Glow, the Sirens, and now the Twins. All characters that get their way through talking others into it. But Flim and Flam have another thing in mind than the others. They are basically the representation of corporate greed. They use whatever scamming method they can for money. But it wasn't really the case the entire time, only in every appearance after the first one. In Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000, they actually didn't seem to have bad intentions. Their machine was actually something that would have made the lives of the Apple family easier. It's a genius way to get everything out of the apples. The problem was that it would have put the supply for cider up and per supply and demand rule the price down. And in the long run would have put the apples out of business and directed the money into the pockets of the twins. It was a scummy move, but not a scam yet. The scams only came later, in a leap of faith with their Flim Flam Miracle Curative Tonic. The first episode made them out to be supposedly scammers, and this one made them actual ones. And I gotta admit, they know how to sell it. They had a whole act together with Silvershell. They are planning masterminds, and their natural charisma makes people believe what they say. I think the dynamic gives most of that. They play off of each other so perfectly, even able to improvise together. They have the famous twin mind connection. They know what the other will do next at all times. This is what makes twins such a good team if they want to be. At this point we have to talk about the Flim and Flam timeline started showed us. And honestly, I think it's a bit too much. Yeah, they are capitalism personified, but even they respect nature enough so that they wouldn't take all the trees. They would be putting themselves out of business, and they are too smart for that. This timeline is putting the two in a worse light than necessary. As previously mentioned, they are a good team if they want to be, but the next episode shows that if they want to be very well. And with that, another part of Siblinghood. Sometimes you just hate each other. Viva Las Pegasus. Gladman knew that they were a giant threat to the empire he built, and if he wanted to keep it as it is, he had to pull them apart. The brilliant businessman was intimidated by the perfect scamming team that are the siblings. Well, they aren't really scammers here either. They are just doing their job, and even apart, they are doing their job very well and playing off of each other, though not even close to the efficiency they usually have. That efficiency is quickly reformed when they learn of Gladman's workings and how he did the same thing to many others, manipulating the manipulators, to make sure that they keep being his sweet little workers. And the twins show their prowess. They deceive Gladman. They definitely are better deceivers than him. The next appearance is one of the dream bubbles in the world problem, strengthening the picture we have of them at this point. Greedy businessman. And while this is a lot of what they are, this video is supposed to show their brotherly bond as well, because that's the reason why they are so good at what they do. This is followed up by one of my favorite episodes of them, Friendship University. The plot itself is great. Why shouldn't there be another school teaching the same thing as Twilight School? And they weren't doing a bad job, just took more money than they should have. But that was done brilliantly as well. I mean, they deceived Star Swirl with low prices, then used him to advertise it to their students, who were the real money givers for this project. But this one is a scam again. We have a healthy balance between scam and scum so far. Here they advertised with learning the lessons of Twilight School in half of the time, but that's because they cut half the lessons. The only other appearance in the animated media is in Best Gift Ever, as once again swindling salesman when selling the Heartswarming doll. We don't need to get over it again. They used their charisma to sell a useless overpriced product. A far more interesting appearance have the comics. They appear a few times in the comics, but the most interesting one to me is in Friends Forever issue 9, because it shows once again how so tight-knit siblings can get pulled apart. And it's over a mare. A beautiful mare they met at Dodge Junction, and both fell in love with. And I can't blame them. She is gorgeous and a librarian. What more do you need? I also like this issue because it shows how important family is to the apples, when Granny Smith helps them reconcile. It also shows how much weaker they are without each other. It just isn't the same. The last story I need to talk about is the Siege of the Crystal Empire. In this story, Radiant Hope talks them into helping her revive Sombra. They are convinced through the promised revenge on the Apple family, and use their skills to distract our heroes, and get the changelings inside the Empire. They do stop helping once they see the scale of Sombra's return, and the issues that would bring for them. Very bad for business. This is also what convinces me that Starlight's timeline is exaggerating. They definitely could cause this future, but they wouldn't. Just to keep their business. That's already everything important we have on them. They appeared fairly little, but in the time they got, they showed their brotherly bond. Their amazing teamwork is honestly admirable, even if it's misguided towards capitalism. I really like them because they remind me of my twin brother and me when we start working together. Unstoppable and overpowered. They could probably take over Equestria if they wanted to. But what do you think? Do you like the brothers? How well do they represent capitalism? Let me know. Join my Discord if you want to discuss some more. Thanks to my patrons, especially to Maverick, and until next time, fellow Bonies, Bonifellas, and bye.